We have not had an increase in the minimum wage since before Barack Obama. $7 an hour is not enough to sustain anybody. The U.S. Congress, they've kept getting their cost of living. That's not a problem, but not anything else. The wages of CEOs and stocks and everything else has all gone up. The prices have gone up, but they have not had enough political will to change it. I don't know anybody who could survive on $7 an hour. It's ridiculous. And it is a sign of how anti-worker the national government has become. I've lived all my life after I was done living with my parents in what would be considered some level of poverty. Now, that's a choice I made and a lifestyle I've pursued because I've always looked for experiences over things. However, that's my choice, and even under those circumstances, I've struggled. And one of the things I've got to be able to work with a lot of people or at just beginning wages or are doing what they refer to as unskilled labor. It is of utmost importance that we recognize that there is a fundamental right and privilege that you should be able to work a 40-hour week and be able to survive in America, which you could definitely not do with minimum wage. It is not kept up, and I believe if it kept to the same percentages as initial minimum wage was done, we'd be making minimum wage would be somewhere in the $20 an hour range, which is so far from it. And workers' rights include everything from unions and also just general working conditions in the employment of people. The best example I can think of is when I grew up and graduated from Elizabethtown in '81. You could get a job at AMP and you could have a family, a vacation, a pension, and send your kids to college if you worked hard and saved your money. You cannot do that anymore. People can't do that with two people working. Though the GDP has continued to rise and our efficiency has gotten better. This is because we have constructed an economy where the money goes to the top. And once where the middle class was burgeoning and growing and had all kinds of benefits, that's all decreased, and we now compete with the lowest paying jobs throughout the world. We have the capacity. You don't have to take from the rich or whatever. You just have to provide some of the same standards that we had 40 years ago, and we'd be able to sustain a new burgeoning middle class. I will be working hard on everything from the capacity to be able to form unions, to setting the standards once again that pensions and vacations and family leave and all that becomes the norm in the United States like it is in most of the rest of the developed world. Again, I look forward to developing answers to this in great detail, and I must admit that my expertise on this is not as great as it is on other issues, but I'm sure unions and other workers and other legislators and other politicians and activists are going to make sure that when it comes time for me to be on the ballot, I will be able to discuss this with as much expertise as I can other issues. Peace.